Hey, good evening and God bless. This is Derek Iverson Sr. Coming back at you with another episode of Real Talk Amongst Men, Real Talk Amongst Mankind. God bless you guys. Hey, I wanted to come and share a thought with you that I had upon my studies. I've been studying Romans 12, verse 3. Let me read that to you. It says, "For I say through the grace given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think somberly as God has dealt to each one a measure of faith." Just want to come real quick, talk to you from the subject of how do you see yourself? How do you see yourself? Um, so when God began to take you to a higher level in life or ministry, please remember where He brought you from. Uh, don't get don't get brand new uh, and begin to think that you're better than someone else. Thank Him for the elevation and pray for a spirit of humbleness. Just like He allows us to go higher in life, He can also bring us back down low to the earth. Don't let life or the things that's gotten on the way to where God is going to take you, don't allow it to make you start thinking that you're better than somebody else. Don't allow it to make you think that your stuff don't stink. Yeah, all of our stuff, it don't stink to us. But guess what? We have developed a tolerance for how our stuff smell. But guess what? It may not smell the same way to another person that's walking in the bathroom while you on your way out. Um, we have become accustomed to how our stuff smell because we've been with us for a mighty long time, uh, and we built up a tolerance for it. Uh, Paul writes this letter to the church so that the church, when God begins to take the church to a new plateau, a new place, Paul urges people to stay humble. Not to get the bobblehead, not to get the jack in the box. Don't allow things that you acquire in life swell your head or swell your ego to the point to where you forget where you come from. Because pride always comes before destruction. Don't be prideful. If God take you to another level, thank God, praise God, and bless God. But don't forget to where you come from. Don't get way over there and start acting like you're better than where you came from. See, cause such was some of us. I don't know about you, but I got to a status in life one time to where I forgot who I was. I allowed money, status, the accolades, the rumors of what they was talking about. And this was before I got saved. This is when I was out there in the world. This is when I was D-Love instead of Pastor D or Brother Derek or whatever you want to call me, or OKC, whatever you want to call me. But I lost myself in the streets. I lost myself in that gang activity. I lost myself. And I start believing the press. And the more money I made, the more ego grew. And the lesser of that voice that I heard God speak before I really gave my life back over. Because I still prayed. I still went to church. I just wasn't devoted or committed to doing anything. But let's look at what Paul penned this letter. Paul urges us, the listener, to see ourselves as we really are. As the youth would say, stop capping and keep it real with yourself about where you are. And if found out you don't like where you are naturally or spiritually, do something to change those positions in life. Don't inflate the perception of who you really are. Go to God and ask Him to reveal your true self. See, sometimes we can allow our egos or things inside of us to inflate or blow us up more than what we really are. You ever seen somebody who is real cool in one stage of life and then they start elevating or going up that stairs, and then each step they take up their stairs, it makes them worse of a person? Well, that's when we begin to think more highly of ourselves than we ought. And Paul warns us here in the book of Romans 12 not to do that. Not to do that. And let's talk about soberly what that means. When one does things soberly, you do them in a calm and thoughtful way. When you start thinking that way, you start being out of control. You start doing things any old kind of way. But when you have somber judgment, you do him in a calm and thoughtful manner. You do him in a thoughtful way. That means you still telling people thank you. You still telling people you appreciate them. But when you start thinking more highly of yourself than you are, you don't say thank you no more. You tell people they do what they do is because they're supposed to. So sometimes you can lose yourself when you start thinking more highly of yourself than you ought. So we need to see ourselves accordingly at all times. And we need to develop somber judgment and get an objective eye as it relates to our true selves. Like I say, whether in life or whether in ministry, don't lose who you really are. See, cause if you're in ministry, when that camera goes off, when the church people go home, when the production shuts down, you got to deal with your real self. Just like in life. When all the people are not around, when they're not giving you your accolades, when they're not stroking your ego, can you still go home and be with yourself and have a smile on your face? If you can't, you need to check where you are. You need to look at yourself and do some type of re-evaluation of who you are and where you at and where you need to be. And if you don't know how to do that, all you got to do is cry out to God, ask God to help you. He's there. He's waiting. He's waiting to help us. Trust me, I had to do it many times. I remember the day I done it, August of 94. I got tired of being out there in the streets. I got tired of hustling. I knew there was something better for me. And I just had to cry out to God and ask God to take that addiction away from me for selling drugs and open up some doors for me. And I trusted God. I had enough faith in me to give God a chance. And guess what? I've been walking with him ever since. So you do the math from 94 up until now. So it's been a blessing. It's been a blessed journey. I had some rough days. As the song says, I had some hills to climb. But I'm still with God because he ain't failed me yet. What's my next point? Oh, it takes faith for us to see ourselves objectively. Paul writes this letter in hopes that we begin to see our true selves, then allow God to do the work that's needed to get us back to where he would have us be. See, ain't nothing like God elevating you and taking you to another level, because he'll do that because he trusts in you to do what he has called you to do. But we have seen through examples of people falling in life and falling in ministry that they start believing in their own press, and they start believing that they doing the work, that they doing this, that they opening up doors for themselves, that they doing this. The Bible says all things work for the good of those who love the Lord, those who have been called according to his purpose. See, it's God that doing the work. It ain't us. We just willing vessels. So be a willing vessel. And don't elevate yourself or get to a level where you start thinking more highly of yourself than you are. Because God will bring you down. Remember the story of Saul? God used Saul till Saul started believing his press. Saul started believing that it was him. So Saul started thinking of himself more highly than he ought. And God said, no, Matter of fact, the Bible said that God was kind of messed up behind making Saul king. God regretted it. Don't let God regret blessing you, putting you in position to do something significant for him. And then you start thinking of yourself more highly than you ought. That's a warning for all of us. What's next? An inflated view of ourselves will set us up for failure in the world and in ministry. So just don't do it. Stay humble. Stay looking to God. Keep asking God to lead you. Keep asking God to direct you. And he'll work out the rest. But I want to come and share those things real quick with you. I pray that you heard something that will cause you to think different, that will cause you to go back and reevaluate, that will cause you to go get in your prayer closet and cry out to God. And after you pray, listen to his voice. Heed the instructions that he give you. Then make the necessary changes that he tell you to. If anything needs to be changed, maybe not. But I just ask a couple of things from you. I ask that you will subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit that notification bell for future videos that's going to drop. Hit the like button. You can share this live out. And by all means, leave a comment if you like. Again, it's been another episode of Real Talk Amongst Men, Real Talk Amongst Mankind. I'm Derek Iverson Sr. Until next time, peace out. God bless you guys.